roll a beat.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, sir. And you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. The nature of my call, I've been on the Wilmington, Delaware site, looking at vacant properties, and I came across
Mm-hmm.
a certain property. Can I give you the address?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. It's 611 East 17th Street.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm on the Newcastle County website, and I see that there's a property transfer that's going on right now. Has the it seems to be vacant. I drove past there. I see the grass is overgrown and there's a fence that has been put up. So is this property available for purchase from auction?
That I don't know. I've never dealt with that. Now you've seen this on the Newcastle County website?
Yes, ma'am. I have the parcel number here.
Okay.
Would you need the parcel number?
Yeah, please.
It is 260-294-0027.
Okay. My question is would you need to contact Newcastle County regards this, or to the city? I'm not for sure.
And that really is the nature of my call. Do I need to contact the city to see about the property transfer and to get that information? Um, I know I know this building used to be the old J. Moyer Academy, and from my understanding, the city wanted to tear down the buildings, and so I knew of an investor that was interested in the property, but it turned out that the property had changed hands and it looks like that it's
Hmm.
happening again. And so we're just trying to get in on that if possible.
Okay. So you're looking to at least purchase it if it's available, correct?
Yes. I really thank you for your time this morning.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. How are you doing today? Would you like some tea and
You
cream?
found it on the Newcastle County, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was it under?
It looks like a Douglas Frederick and Garvey Marcus RBG International Leadership Academy is I'm seeing as a owner. But again, I also see a note here in red saying that property transfers related to recent parcel ownership changes are currently being processed. So I'm
Okay.
assuming is that meaning the owner is the Douglas Frederick owner one is are they selling?
Okay. But I mean, was it under like homes for sale or vacancies or?
Yes, it's under the vacancies. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me go. I was on the vacant property list. Go back to that list real quick and bill search. Here it is. So I was looking at the vacant property list. Now I saw this property was still on the vacant property list. I see it was a.
Okay.
Let me see if I can grab that parcel number real quick and pull up the information I saw. Okay, it's loading now. Come on, computer. All right, there it is. And so I see that there's a vacant a vacant property fee. It's showing that this property has been listed on here for quite some time, and I'm still waiting for it to load again. Come on. I'm seeing as of today, it says that there was a total balance of $24,656.50. And I'm saying, okay, so this property is still listed on the vacant property list, but it's now being shown that it's there's a property transfer. So I'm like, okay, so is it back up on the market for sale? We've been watching this property for quite some time. I see it's located behind or in front of the Boys and Girls Club, and so
Mm-hmm.
we wanted to know if that property is able to be acquired, so that the buildings can be torn down and possibly turned into a parking lot for the Boys and Girls Club, or maybe new
Mm.
development for them. Maybe a additional play area for the children and whatnot. But we also found out that someone wanted to turn the buildings back into an actual institution for higher learning. But again, this red notice about the property transfers kind of got us hung up, and so we're just trying to
Okay.
inquire about that.
Okay, got that. And your name was Vinny,
Yes,
Vinnie
is
Davis.
is VINNY Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And can I get your address?
Yes, ma'am. It is 834 South Brewer Street, and that's in North Carolina.
Oh, okay. What city is that in North Carolina?
Raleigh.
Raleigh?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking to move back there.
Okay. Are you a native?
No, I'm from Delaware, but I lived there for over 20 years, and I
Okay.
got to get back. It's just, you can't beat the atmosphere there. I lived in the northwestern mountains near Boone.
I got you.
So what is the zip code there for Raleigh?
Just give me 1 second. God, what's coming up is 27608. That one. We gonna go ahead. Let me share the screen so we can talk about why we are here. So yesterday, if you did not get a chance, or not yesterday, excuse me, Saturday, if you did not get a chance to watch the 5 hour live stream we did, it was just me kicking it with the family, catching up with everyone, letting everyone know what I'm doing in life, what's been going on, why I was, missing for a month, and catching up what's going on with the Umar Johnson saga. That's all yesterday was really about. But, or excuse me, Saturday. But what wound up happening is we went to the Newcastle County, Delaware website. We pulled up the parcel number. And I'm just going to be real. I don't even recall the part of the show what led us to the Newcastle County, Delaware website. I really don't do too much over here because, from my understanding, I was told a long time ago that he no longer owed the taxes. I really don't know how to break down none of this. I'm gonna be honest. Shout out to Lynn and Honor for being in the house because he has so many live streams breaking this down. And so I leave it to him. But I noticed that there's a note in red that has never been there the entire time the Newcastle County, Delaware website was pulled up. Not even when the parcel numbers changed from K-12 management to the Douglas Frederick and Garvey Marcus RBG International Leadership Academy, Inc. This is the very first time this has been placed into this a website, search engine, whatever you want to call it. that lets me know something is definitely going on up there at FDMG. Now, listen, I've said so many times that this property is going to be sold at an auction or for some type of foreclosure. And I said, why? You see, I'm sticking with the fact that I really believe that the FDMG saga is a real estate and real estate investing scheme. It is a scam, but the scheme is, let me crowdfund by asking the people for donations by way of having them believe that I'm building a school for black children. Here's the scam part. And it first was a residency, and now it's supposed to be, I don't know what it is now. It's supposed to be grade level from starting at what he's third grade, something weird, going up to sixth grade or something. Listen, it's changed so many times. But that's the scam part. So people donate, people send in their checks, money orders, whatever, and he's raising money via crowdfunding. Once he gets enough money, if you listen to these quote unquote financial gurus, the people that tell you, I know the tricks in the trade of how you can acquire a property for a little of nothing. I know how you can do this without using your own money, yada yada whoop the whoop. And the secret is they tell you use somebody else's money by crowdfunding and then going to a certain city and state that has foreclosures, vacant properties, the property taxes are low, like everything is low. They tell you it's certain states and certain cities within these states that you can jump on, and you hold on to the property as long as you can, or you can fix and flip it, or you can, fix it up and rent it out, or you can move into it. Or they tell you all these different options that you got once you acquire the property, right? They also tell you that you can also just sit on the property. You can do minor upgrades, you can do, things here and there, but just sit on the property because development is going to come into that city, and some property manager, or excuse me, someone real estate investor is going to come in and offer you money for this property, and you going to make a come up pretty much off of other people's money. So it was said for the longest that K-12 management never really sold the property to Umar Johnson. Now, hold on. Let me get Antonio Barnes in here too, because he knows so much about what's going on. He says when you go to Google and put in Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy in Wilmington, Delaware, it was listed as a money transfer service. Google didn't lie. Now, we're going to get into all of that. Thank you for bringing that up, because Chief X broke all of that down. This is what I'm talking about. It was said that Umar acquired the property. He never actually bought it. And they broke down the whole thing of a carryback loan. So I say, okay, if that is the case, if K-12 management still owns the property and Umar and FDMG is the front man, is K-12 selling the property to Umar, maybe? Did he raise enough donations between 2019 to now to where he was able to purchase these buildings from him Or is the city finally stepping in and seizing these properties? All under the guise that the white man is coming and the white man is doing this and doing that, and they're taking the property. Because listen, it's so important that you keep the property, the vacant property list available, or you constantly check it. Let me pull it up right now. Bill search. Let's take a look. Share the tab. Here we go. As of August 26, 2024, there's still $24,656.50. The vacant property fees tell you so much. This is a vacant property. People come in looking for vacant properties. I promise you. I put this on my left and right shoes. You can purchase vacant properties. They tell you to look at the vacant property list. They tell you to look at foreclosure, pre-foreclosure. People that don't really understand real estate, people that just bought a house just because that they saw their peers buying a house and they like, I want to buy a house, knowing nothing about real estate, even though they go and take the class to, for home ownership. You got to take the class teaching you a crash course about property management, but really don't go into the details that you really need to know. So people that wind up, defaulting and getting behind on their bills, and so now they in pre-foreclosure, and the developers are looking at the pre-foreclosure list and they come and offer a cash value on the house because the people really don't know that they got a redemption period and they can redeem the home unless they really willing to fight for it. But some people are just looking for a payout because they're looking for money and life is crashing and they need the cash now. All of that is happening. I saw all that happen here in Nashville. Honestly, I'm really telling y'all. I'm really telling y'all some stuff right now. When it comes to real estate, this is how gentrification came in and got under everybody. Just came in, and one day you just saw your whole neighborhood change. Like here in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna put it out there. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, the office that you would go to even get the vacant property list or the pre-foreclosure list and all that office was in the Bridgestone Arena. Now, why would you put an office like that in? Come on, man. You would think that office would be in a state's office. It's in the Bridgestone Arena where the Nashville Predators play, where they play. They have all type of concerts, and like they hide these type of offices because they don't want everyone knowing about this like for real. And the more I paid attention to the FDMG saga, the more I was like, this sounds like real estate and real estate investing, man. He used black people to fund his ventures. And I even went further to say, I even argue the fact that we know that he purchased a building for his girlfriend Sharon a few years back. The art supply store, a bookstore, whatever it was, some like studio he purchased for her. I did a show where we found out they sold that property and there was like a $200,000 kickback. And shortly after that, HVAC machines showed up at their property. We did a whole show about it. I'm like, dude, ain't no telling how long he's been doing real estate and real estate investment schemes under various nonprofit organizations. We only know about the nonprofit of FDMG and how he defaulted, or if I'm using the right word, pretty much he owed under one EIN and wind up switching gears and redoing everything in Delaware. It was all set up in Philadelphia at first. I'm really looking and peeping structure on all this, and I'm like, okay, so you can set up a LLC, you can set up nonprofit organizations, you can set up these entities uh, for the sole purposes of acquiring properties. LLC, you can acquire assets and properties under nonprofits, but then we got to go to shout out to Pocket Watching with JT, because he broke down when Umar was audited by the IRS. He didn't even put down the properties as asset. Why wouldn't you do that if you own the properties? That's an asset. Even if they are on the vacant property list, that's you bought them. That's your property. He didn't own those properties. It says that he acquired them. And I'm like, okay, time is really gonna tell the truth about this. Time is going to tell the truth about this, because if he really do own those buildings, it's gonna come out that he owned those buildings. You don't see any major repairs. Now, we always talk about, when you look, you see the video that's playing in the background. You see how dirty and how, just dilapidated this property is. We broke down the fact that the city of Wilmington, Delaware wanted to bulldoze those buildings. They wanted to tear them down via the Northeast Brandywine Riverfront project, where they said that the city had learned that ownership of the property had switched. But did it really? But did it really? Well, let's get into the first piece of this. So, for all of those that are not into real estate, I'm not into real estate. So, I need all my real estate gurus to be present and to be helpful with this whole situation. We got James Dean saying the process of the change will be posted between 8 to 10 days or 3 months. Yes, 90 days. So it could be 8 to 10 days or it can be 90 days. It's going to happen. Now, do you think that since Umar Johnson is using, let me pull up the receipt. This is why you got to have your receipts. September 3rd, 2024, the Honorable Marcus Garvey Re-Africanization Academy is supposed to be opening, people. You got to stay with the story. You got to keep up. Black Lilith is in the house. Pull up Africans Unite right now. I need for you, if you are in the call center, I need you to put your headset under your over your Bluetooth. If you have a wired headset, I need you to run the wire under your shirt, under your blouse, so it's not visible, and then put the wire on the same side as the wire that's connected to the phone, so it's not noticeable. Make sure that you are paying attention to your caller, providing top-notch customer service, but also pay attention. make sure you hit that like button. All my other people, upper management, if you can shut the door, shut your door, because we finna get down into it. We gotta get into this. Yes, I'm supporting top-notch customer service, but you gonna pay attention to the show today. You gonna pay attention to the show today. I'm just gonna show you how to get away with it. That's all I'm gonna do. You do your job, but this how you get away with it. Now, is the HMG Re-Afghanization Academy coming into fruition? Is this what's going on? I'm for real, Robbie. Like, he's been saying, like, okay, we got to go to Instagram. We got to go over there to Instagram because I can't tell you under what photos, but I have seen photos. I have seen videos where he puts in the caption of the photo, it's HMG. Now, he does have Frederick Douglass Paint Day right here. We can look at that right here. Look. The Frederick Douglass Paint Day is going down September 1st and September 2nd. But there's photo. I'm trying. Like, I hope we come across one of these captions. Everything is still uniformed under FDMG. But I have seen him reference the Honorable Marcus Garvey Re-Africanization Academy in his captions. I'll probably be all day trying to find this. This is one of them things you just gonna have to trust me on, people. I ain't got time to go through his photos to find that one HMG. Anyway, let us continue. So the question is, what is a parcel transfer? What is a parcel transfer? What's the parcel? Let me switch it to this. This is what they're saying is going on. A property transfer, also known as a conveyance, is the legal process of transferring ownership of a property from one person or entity to another. This can be done when selling real estate, giving it away as a gift, or when an owner dies. To transfer property, the owner must file a deed with the local government. A deed is a legal document that lists the property's owner and proves that the new owner has ownership. There are many different types of deeds, including warranty, tax, survivorship, and gift deeds. The most common type is a general warranty deed, which guarantees good title from the beginning of time. A special warranty deed, on the other hand, only guarantees good title during the seller's time of ownership. In addition to a deed, the transfer may also involve other legal documents such as a real estate purchase agreement, property sale agreement, contract, or lease. For example, when an owner dies, an executor may prepare an executor's deed and submit it to probate court for approval. After receiving court approval, the executor can register the deed with the county recorder. Now, let us go over to our good friend Chief X's channel so he can break down proof Dr. Umar Johnson ain't purchased nothing. Fair use. And go ahead and put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear the audio. I just paused the video, but I want to make sure that you guys can hear the audio. Put a 1 in the chat if you can. Put a 2 in the chat if you can't. Yes, Chief X used to do real estate, and he has, according to him, friends around the nation. Okay, so all right, let me go ahead and disconnect. All right, I'm going to start the video. That's why I paused it. I had a feeling you guys couldn't hear it. All right, let me start it over. Let me know now.
Yes. We are live. We ain't gonna be on this thing, but for at the most 5 minutes.
All right, can you guys hear the video now? And again, yes, Chief X used to do real estate. Again, he said he had friends around the nation that's in real estate, and that he can get information on properties anytime. And so this is one of those videos where he broke. Okay, so y'all can hear it. Cool. He broke down how Umar didn't purchase those properties.
I'm talking ahead of time, and I know people haven't really tuned in yet. But let me wait about 5 seconds. You guys can watch it later. I just want to show you guys that Umar Johnson has not purchased the school. I want to show you that who owns the school. Okay. Let me go to where I can share. 1 second. Okay. This is a school that Dr. Umar Johnson has claimed to purchase. Dr. Umar Johnson didn't say rent. He said he purchased it. He didn't say rent. He said he purchased it. Am I lying? No, I'm not. This is a school that you're looking at that he said he purchased. It used to be called Moyer Academy. It was shut down in 2015 because the kids had low test scores and they was basically just fucking up.
Now, I know he's being extra critical, but we've done shows breaking down the neighborhood, the kids. What was that? They even have a rap song in that area, man. I forgot the little bop. But we listened to the rap song they have in that area. We even took a look at J. Moyer Academy to see like what happened, and we all know. Shout out to Nappy Yankee. It's a weed and seed neighborhood. Shout out to Leonard Honor again, because he even showed where it's prisons that's like within a certain radius of the school. You talking about a for real prison, school to prison pipeline. But let's continue.
Okay. It was bought. Let me show real quick. Where is it at? Hold on, family. Okay, right here. I told you I used to do real estate. I used to be a realtor and a loan officer. Okay? I have real estate friends and I can check with them on any property in the United States of America and get a deed on it and show you who owns it, who bought it, and all the pertinent information. Okay? This property, this school in Delaware was purchased, you see the date? 4/4/2017 from the original owners, and is currently owned by K-12 Management Inc. Excuse me, I burped. K-12 Management Inc. They bought it for $1.9 million. Do you see this? Umar Johnson does not own this school. He did not buy this school, you gullible idiots. Didn't I tell you this man was a fraud and a habitual liar? Yes, I did. Did you believe me? No. I told you, any man or woman I speak on and tell you they're a fraud, habitual liar, a thief, and a criminal, that's just what the fuck they are, believe me. Don't believe a word out of Umar Johnson's mouth, ever. What the deal is, GoFundMe has started refunding people about 3 to 4 days ago that donated to him because he's bullshitting and hadn't came through. They started refunding people. Umar Johnson freaks out. Oh shit, all this shit is about to be depleted. Let me start raising some more money. So he concocted an elaborate scam. In other words, he revamped another school scam for another school property. Got the key because they'll allow you to go view and look at anything that a person is interested in buying or what have you, or you can get the key and get inside of the place and look around. Okay? So that's what he did, and he filmed the video and got you niggas thinking he bought the motherfucker. Huh? So he has to replace this money that's being refunded to people through GoFundMe. So what he's doing now is revamping a school scam, and he's asking for $1 million for renovation of it. But he double talked because he said the school is in good condition. Now he's saying you need $1 million for what do you call it? Renovating it. He wants y'all to give him $1 million and think he bought a school so you can shoot him money and for renovation. He ain't renovating a motherfucking thing because he don't own a motherfucking thing, didn't buy a motherfucking thing. FDMG is a fucked up nonprofit that shut down. He can't buy shit if he wanted to. You idiots! The fuck is wrong with y'all? Do y'all have any wisdom? First of all, he's ranting, making a video talking about I need you guys to find me a home in Delaware. I need you guys to find me another building for this. Find me this for this. All this old shit. But check this out. If a person just purchased a school, that means they have a real estate agent who they're working with. So why would they ask the public to find them a home?
Now, shout out again to Chief X. If you were present in the audience with us Saturday, then you had the chance to hear the audio of the unpaid FDMG employee, where we broke down Don and how Don was working at FDMG and he was living inside of FDMG. He was keeping up the grounds. We showed Don cutting the grass with a swing blade. And we listened to the audio of Don and Tiffany arguing, saying that Umar Johnson owed him money. In that audio, Don wound up dropping the fact that Umar did, in fact, live in the building because he was moving clothes and things for him. It was a whole lot going on. And this video we just watched, that was 6 years ago from Chief X. That was 6 years ago. So this video was around the time when he was purchased, when it came out that he purchased these buildings, and everybody like, no, he didn't really purchase those buildings. Yes, we talked about that as well. We talked about how in relation to how he did King Randall, he did Don like that at first. The same way that he scammed King Randall is the same exact way he wind up scamming Don. Lord Umar is scamming hard, man, and using the community for real estate funds. Chief X sent me a message on Facebook July 18th. He had some ideas about a live stream. I just sent him a message about this property transfer. I'll let you know if he responds. Go ahead, man. Let us know. Let us know, because this is huge. Now, I can say that since the video we just watched with Chief X, when Umar was asking for people to help, remember he said that he was going to relocate to Delaware. And it was during the time that we was talking about how his streaming background. It was like, man, he stayed with his mom. He stayed with his mom. And it wound up coming out that there was an eviction that took place. Umar said on his own live stream that he was looking for a place to live in Delaware, and he was asking for his people to find him a place to live. During that same time, we had the underground content and audio, because I showed y'all the dark side of YouTube and the dark side of this space. And within that space, we listened to Don and we listened to Tiffany Griffin, and we listened to the audio that suggested that Umar was in the background coaching Tiffany during the conversation. All of this was going on at the same time. And I said back then, this is all going to come full circle. Like you're not going to be able to keep the underground part underground, because as time go on, time is going to tell if he really owned those buildings or not. And here we are. So this is huge. We haven't even began to break this thing down. There's another video that Chief X did. I'm getting to that right now. Hold on. In this video, he shows what type of deed that's being carried on this property, if you will. We know that it said K-12 management owned the deed. But then everybody was like, well, when you look up everything, everything is in the name of Douglas Frederick and Garvey Marcus. So here we go. Make sure you hit that like button.
Came back.
Hold on, let me pause it. And let me know if you guys can hear the video. Please hit the like button if you are just now coming in. All right. This is what Umar really has in place, fronting as if he owns the building.
What's up, fam? This is Chief X, the God Best reincarnated. I cracked the riddle. I figured out the seventh wonder of the world regarding Umar Johnson and how he acquired, keyword, acquired that property. He thinks he's slick, he fucked up, and he's in a heap of financial trouble. And I'm going to explain why. I told you I used to do real estate. Now, a lady mentioned something on a post I made on YouTube. She said, because I was at the end of the video, I was wondering how did he get his name on a damn deed and there was no sale or purchase, which means if somebody purchased something, that means they qualified for a loan and they have a mortgage. He says he don't have a mortgage. So I'm stuck, right? As a former realtor and loan officer, I'm like, what the fuck? This mother? I'm like, because this is impossible. So check this out. A lady on a post on my YouTube page, she said, that sounds like a carryback loan. And it hit me right there. I said, how in the hell, as a former loan officer, did I forget about carryback financing? This is just a little basic definition, but we about to break it all
Shout out to
down.
Boston Man.
And I'm gonna tell you how he's in a heap of trouble. And I told you, X wasn't wrong when I made that video about he getting that property for $10. My video was on point. I said on that video, Umar did not purchase a place, which he didn't. He acquired it. He didn't qualify for a loan and buy a building himself. Someone had to do some paperwork with him, some slick paperwork with him, and he got his name on the deed. I was thinking he had a side deal, and maybe they added him as an addition, and maybe 30 days later, we'll see the full deed or some extra paperwork that came back. But this, I believe, what he did. I'm not 100%, but by golly gee, wow. I think I'm on point. This is a basic definition. A seller carryback financing is basically when a seller acts as the bank or lender and carries a second mortgage on the property, which the buyer pays down each month, along with the first mortgage. Okay, there's 2 payments. Let's go check this out. Now I just Googled that because I remember what it meant, right? But let's just go to the legal thing because you know how people is. Let's just go to a real source, good source, so you can really understand what Umar did and what a carryback loan is. This is what I believe he did. I say believe because I can't say for a fact. But if I was to bet my paycheck, I would damn sure do it. Listen. Seller carryback law and legal definition. This is what he did. I'm telling you, I would bet anything. Seller carryback refers, excuse, let me just get my mind together. Seller carryback refers a home financing method in which the seller of the property carries a second trust deed. Second keyword, deed, meaning there's 2 deeds. We only seen the one that, I don't know what leaked or did he show to prove, like he's on the deed. We only seen 1 deed. Okay? Follow along with me. Okay? Okay, so let me prep this. K-12 owned the property before Umar. K-12 also owned the property while Moyer Academy was there. They ran the curriculum at Moyer Academy. K-12 Management Inc. has horrible reviews on YouTube. Not YouTube, I'm sorry. If you Google their reviews, they're horrible. They're not transparent. And you'll see some reviews where everybody's talking like they're slick men. Because they're hustling off that building and making money off that building. When you own property, you can hustle. You can charge all kind of shit to credit checks and shit and then not fuck with the, sometimes when people own property, you can make money just owning property from potential buyers, just doing bullshit games. But I ain't gonna get into all that. But listen, let me just read it. Let's go. So that people can understand. Seller carryback refers a home financing method in which the seller of the property carries a second trust deed in the note against the property. Meaning the people who own it have a lot of fucking money. They can finance you themselves. K-12 got a lot of money. They can finance that themselves and do their own fucking paperwork in a. Why?
Now, I went on ahead and paused it because that whole video has he broke it down. That really sums it all up, because we finna move on into the next portion of it. So Umar saying that he owns the buildings. He's saying that he's looking for somewhere to live in Delaware. They're saying that James D says now this is making sense. Right. So now they're saying K-12 is still in the background working. Is this why the buildings are still on the vacant property list? Let me go ahead and pull something back up real quick. Hold on. Let me play. Let me play Chief X until I find it. Hold on.
Another loan. Let's read it again. It is typically used when the buyer can't afford the down payment or is unable to obtain another loan. One advantage may be that the seller will usually go at or I'm holding this camera and reading through the camera, so excuse me. Maybe I should, because I can't hold it. Okay. One advantage, okay, below the market interest rate and no closing costs are involved. It benefits the seller. Who does it benefit? The seller, by producing an income that is usually higher than the rate banks offer. A hustle. It benefits the seller by producing an income. He's going to have to be shooting them some money.
All right. Now, this video is like 6 to 12. I said 6 to 12. 6 to 5 to 6 years old is what I'm trying to say. This video here is 5 to 6 years old. Let me look real quick to be sure. It came out, it's 5 years old. This video came out February 26th of 2019. Now, follow me, because everyone will say, well, you know, you have to give it time for the ownership to, you know, switch hands and for it to show and all that. All right, cool. We'll give you that. Let's go ahead and bring in Pocket Watching with JT. Let me go ahead and bring this right on up, because then you have Umar got audited. Umar was audited. Why did he not put FDMG down as assets? Let's get into it. Shout out to everybody that's coming into the room right now. We got Niji in the house. What's going on? We got Doe Eyes in the house. What's going on with you? Seth, what's going on, man? I see you in the house. Listen, we are breaking this thing all the way down. Here we go. Let's go.
Volunteers, 7. So there's one person, we have to assume that's Dr. Umar Johnson. One person has the ability to say, this is a good idea, that's a bad idea. Only one person, that's most likely Dr. Umar Johnson, while there's another 6, or maybe, you know, if he's counting himself as a volunteer, there's another 6 people or an additional 7 people who are considered volunteers. Now, here's another issue with this 990. The very next section goes to funds raised, right? This is the income statement, what we're looking at right here. The top numbers 8 through 12 are supposed to report the money that came in. Numbers 13 through 19 is supposed to report the money that went out. So this is the income statement, profit and loss statement. As you can see, let me make sure I blow this up. As you can see, Dr. Umar Johnson is reporting to the Internal Revenue Service and to the rest of the world that from 2019, so from January 2019, that's the prior year, from January 1st, 2019, all the way through December 31st, 2020, Absolute zero, nothing, nada money came in. Even though in the video we just saw, he talks about raising over $100,000 during that time period. But here on the document that he provided to the federal government, he says all of 2019, no money came in. All of 2020, no money came in. All of 2019, no money went out. All of 2020, no money went out. So he's saying that for 2 calendar years, he collected no money and he spent no money. Even though there's videos of him talking about having to get certain things done for the school. I mean, even when he painted the rock, he did all these things over this 2-year period. And he's saying no money came in. He's saying no money went out for a 2-year period. Come on, man. Come on. This is absolutely ridiculous. So that is that's the profit and loss statement part of the form. Now let's go to the balance sheet. Now, what is a balance sheet? Almost everyone understands what an income statement is. Everyone understands cash flow in, cash flow out. That's easy to understand. Normally, only business students and accountants know what a balance sheet is. So quick explanation of what a balance sheet is. A balance sheet basically shows the financial position of a organization or even an individual. It really kind of gives you an understanding of what the net worth of a organization or a individual is at any particular point in time. So what a balance sheet is going to tell you, it's going to show you all of the assets of a organization. So what are assets? Maybe we should start there.
Here we go.
What are assets? Assets are things that can be converted into cash or are cash, or they are income generating items. So a asset would be cash. That's the easiest one. Equipment, inventory, buildings, right? Those are things that can be considered a asset. Even a loan that the organization made to someone else can be considered a asset, because even though you may not have the cash, the fact that someone owes you money and they have made an agreement to pay you money, you can actually count that as an asset. So assets are the things that are either money or easily converted into money. Those are the assets. Then you have your liabilities. Liabilities are debt. You owe someone money, right? So you have assets, then you have debts. Then when you subtract the debt from the assets, what you're left with is the net worth of the organization or the person. So once again, you have assets, they equal your liabilities plus the net worth, or owner's equity is another term that you can use. You can flip that equation around and you can basically say that the organization or an individual's net worth equals assets minus liability. So we just showed you the the income statement for the past 2 years that shows no money came in and no money went out. Okay, Umar, based on all the videos you made, that doesn't make sense, but okay. Now we're going over the balance sheet, which once again, assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. So let's take a look at that. Now,
equity.
When we look at the balance sheet for the past 2 years of this organization, what it is showing is that at the beginning of the year, he had $518,800 $548 worth of assets. Okay. At the end of the year, he had $572,409 worth of assets. That means the assets went up. Now, a great question you should ask is, well, if the assets went up and he brought in no money, how did the assets go up? That's okay. That question is answered with the very next line. We see at the beginning of the year, the organization had no liabilities. It means at the beginning of the year, the organization owed no money to anyone. Now, if you've been following this story, the organization, the school, owes back taxes, not federal income tax, but they owe local real estate tax because of neglect from Dr. Umar and his organization. They improperly filed for real estate tax exemption. So there was a time frame from the point when he bought the buildings to the point where he was supposed to file for tax exemption from real estate tax. He missed that filing. And because he missed that filing, he owes real estate tax like he's a for-profit organization. So something is up with that. So for him to say that the organization doesn't owe anybody anything, that seems to be odd, because we already know that this organization owes taxes. So any type of debt, even tax debt, stuff like that, would go into this area. So to say that, the organization has no debt at the beginning of the year seems a little odd. But here it says that by the end of the year, the organization had debt of $54,361. That's the difference between the $518,000 and the $572,000. It's this new debt that the organization took on. So that seems kind of odd. But there's more. Let's keep going. We see here that Dr. Umar Johnson, the executive director, basically signed this form. Let's take a look at who actually prepared this form, because this seems totally off. It was prepared by Kincaid Services Group, right, out of Philly, Philly, PA.
There was a breakdown of Kincaid Services Group. I tried to find in the chapters how to get to this point. And yeah. Anyway, Kincaid is known to be real sketchy themselves. It was broke down who they were and where they were out of.
Here's their information. Here's their phone number. I don't know what. Now, I want to be clear. A lot of times as accountants, we are kind of at the mercy of the information that the client provides us, right? So I'm not going to throw a lot of shade on this this firm that prepared the tax return. Not much. But basically, if he would have came to me, there would have been a lot more questions that I would have to ask. I don't know how much in questions were asked, but this nonprofit tax return is very, very questionable. Very questionable. It does, it is what it is. So I don't want to throw too much shade. No idea who this organization is. They didn't kind of smell anything fishy, but it is what it is. So I don't want to throw too much shade on the organization that actually prepared this tax return for Umar. But man, there should be a lot more in questions that you should have. Now, we're going to see more detailed information about these numbers, which not a whole lot of numbers, but we're going to get more detailed information, because what this simply tells us is a summary. It tells us that he had $572,409 worth of assets at the end of the year. And he had $54,361 worth of debt at the end of the year. But it doesn't really tell us what types of assets, and it doesn't really tell us what type of debt. But when we go down, we should see detailed information of what type of assets the organization had and what type of debt the organization had. So let's go down here and take a look and see what type of assets and debts. Now, right here, what we see is a list of the organization's officers, directors, trustees, key employees, and highest compensated employees. Now, when we look at this list, let me try to blow this up so y'all can see. When we look at this list, we see 2 people listed. Really, it's just one person. I don't know why he did this, but what we see is 2 entries, but one person. We see Umar Johnson, director. Umar Johnson, director. So we see him on here twice. And it says that he works 60-hour weeks. So he works 60-hour weeks. This check mark just basically means that he is an individual or a trustee or director. It says that he gets no money, absolutely zero money in any type of compensation from this organization, be it through a W-2 or 1099. So that's what it's saying right here, right? And that's it. There's no other person or entity that is listed as a key employee or director of this organization. What is this? This is what we call a red flag. There is no way that I would advise a client of mine to donate money to a true organization. Now, here is the detailed information on where and how the assets are split up and how's the debt split up. And let me let you down right now. It ain't much information to be seen. So let's zoom in. Apparently, all of the money that he has, all of the assets, the whole beginning year of $518,048, and the ending year amount of $572,409. All of the money or all of the assets is in cash. Not only is all of the money in cash, all of the money is in cash in a non-interest bearing account. All of the money is in a non-interest bearing account. Why am I laughing? I'm laughing because Dr. Umar Johnson, one, I think that a lot of the information on this form is BS. I don't think it's true. But let's just for a second go into fairy tale land and let's act as if the information on this form is accurate. You're telling me you have more than $500,000, more than $500,000, and it's sitting in a non-interest bearing account. As a financial advisor, oh my God, it's ridiculous. You have over $500,000. Why do you have it in a non-interest bearing account? Why wouldn't you put it in at bare minimum, a money market account so that at least while the money is just sitting there, it's earning some interest? Not even getting into the fact that maybe you should have this money invested in some sort of portfolio. Obviously, you need to have this money liquid, a certain amount of the money liquid, so that you can pay for repairs for the school and stuff like that. I understand that. But you should have some sort of portfolio and invest this money so that you're not depending on 100% donations, which you claim you haven't got a donation in 2 calendar years. You're claiming you didn't get a donation in 2 calendar years, but at the same time, you have the money sitting in a non-interest bearing account. You don't have it in a high interest earning savings account or a money market account, let alone maybe possibly having somewhere around $250,000 or maybe just $200,000 in.
That is broken down all the way That was the part I was trying to get to. All of the money that he claims that he earned from the time that he said he actually bought the buildings, the ownership, he bought the buildings all the way until he was audited. Now, I saw a question, I think it was by Antonio Barnes, that asked why didn't they look into K-12? Well, that would have been selective instead of like a random audit. With him being attacked by certain folks and being reported by certain folks, he would finally, it was looked into. This comes after he went to court for he's been in court for child support. The fact that he's been, when you owe, you're not able to get a business license. Like, you can't get any type of license. And that's why a lot of people said he was an agent. He's able to do all of these things and no one is looking into him. So they finally looked into him. And he was audited. This is what was turned in. That doesn't say that there's not a deeper investigation that is currently going on. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you take a look at what's going on with Umar now, he really does have the attention of the federal government. If he's telling the truth about the fact that Kamala Harris and her team reached out to him and offered him $10,000 to come and have an interview, you most definitely are in the government's hindsight. If that is the true case, they're going to look into your background and see what's going on. So if he's really an agent, it'll come out. It's showing itself now if he really is. Or we take a look at what's going on with the Newcastle County website. Ownership is changing. Changing to who? Is Umar selling the property? Is that what they is this is what that's telling you? If everything lines up with Umar, him and Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey and them, they really do own the property. Douglas Frederick, to be exact. Douglas Frederick and Garvey Marcus, RBG International Leadership Academy Inc. is the owner. Why is Umar selling? A property transfer. We took a look at it. A property transfer, also known as a conveyance, is the legal process of transferring ownership. The legal process of transferring ownership of a property from one person or entity to another. So is he transferring the name of FDMG to the Honorable Marcus Garvey? No one is raising noise about what's going on with K-12 management. They're supposed to be the people behind the curtain. You don't supposed to know about K-12 management. They just sit back and collect money.